This former surgeon is facing hundreds of medical malpractice lawsuits. The News4JAX I-TEAM obtained this video today where he appears disoriented and slurring his speech. This is from a deposition that was taken soon after the doctor stopped operating on patients. Dr. David Heekin used to be an orthopedic surgeon at Ascension St. Vincent's Hospital in Riverside.
He's accused in about 350 lawsuits of operating on patients while suffering a progressive neurological condition that impacted his motor skills, speech, and impulse control. I-TEAM investigator Ann Maxwell has also obtained hundreds of pages in which the plaintiffs allege the hospital was aware of the issues with the doctor but continued to let him operate. Ann?
Mary, plaintiffs' attorneys are asking for permission to seek punitive damages against St. Vincent's Medical Center, laying out their evidence in nearly 500 pages containing text messages, emails, employee statements, and countless stories of botched surgeries. Videos cited in plaintiffs' legal filings allegedly showed the deterioration of Dr. David Heekin from 2015, as seen in this promotional video.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Heekin, Medical Director of the Orthopedic Center of Excellence at St. Vincent's.
To August 2020, when he appeared disoriented and out of control in a deposition for a medical malpractice lawsuit.
She's going on to an ophthalmology office, and she was a patient advocate.
He is also seen not responding to a question for more than 15 seconds before responding with an outburst.
Yeah, your office screwed up.
Was your answer before that because my office screwed up?
I thought you couldn't understand that.
Plaintiffs allege angry outbursts, slurred speech, shaking, and imbalance were symptoms of a progressive neurological condition the doctor experienced in the years before his 2020 retirement. Dr. Heekin acknowledged in the deposition he had been diagnosed with a medical condition that contributed to his decision to retire and made it hard for him to answer questions. Hundreds of lawsuits allege the doctor operated on patients while he was impaired due to his medical condition, causing devastating injuries. They allege the hospital knew it was happening and did nothing to stop him. The daughter of a patient provided a statement cited by the plaintiffs in a recent filing saying Dr. Heekin did a knee replacement on her mom in 2018, and she was brought back to the ER a month later when her wound opened up. The statement claims that when Dr. Heekin arrived that day, he was belligerent, slurring his speech, shaking, sweating, and screaming at staff and her mother, telling her she was toast. The statement also claims Dr. Heekin was stumbling and mumbling. The chief medical officer was called to defuse the situation, and she and her family told him about Dr. Heekin's demeanor and behavior, saying they thought he had been strung out on drugs or had Parkinson's. His response, Dr. Heekin was just passionate about his patients and he was comfortable with him performing surgery, saying Dr. Heekin was born with a speech impediment. The plaintiffs allege that's a lie. St. Vincent's will have the opportunity to respond to the evidence plaintiffs submitted, and the court will schedule a hearing on plaintiffs' request to seek punitive damages. The plaintiffs also submitted documents purporting to demonstrate that other orthopedic doctors in the area saw so many inexplicably devastated patients of Dr. Heekin's that one of them even texted St. Vincent's CEO, saying, "We're seeing a large uptake of severe complications from Dr. Heekin. These patients will end up with above-knee amputations. I'm going to stop seeing his patients because I can't take care of them all." The submitted documents reflect that the CEO responded, "It's important to investigate," and that he said he'd put the doctor in touch with St. Vincent's chief medical officer. However, plaintiffs allege Dr. Heekin continued performing surgeries that harmed patients at the hospital for months. In a deposition also cited by the plaintiffs, a St. Vincent's employee testified that she brought concerns about Dr. Heekin to the clinical coordinator 10 to 15 times. And in a meeting with the clinical coordinator and the director of surgical services in 2019, she reported the director said essentially the same thing as the clinical coordinator, quote, "Patients are willingly going to him. They see how he talked before. It's their choice." Alleged the hospital disregarded patients' complaints, saying the doctor was an independent contractor. The hospital again will have a chance to respond to the plaintiff's request to seek punitive damages. Court records show nothing has been filed in response yet. But in other court records, the hospital has denied allegations of wrongdoing and filed its own cross-claim against Dr. Heekin and the Heekin Clinic, alleging the doctor, not the hospital, should be liable to the plaintiffs for damages. An attorney representing St. Vincent's declined to comment tonight, and we've not yet heard back today from attorneys for Dr. Heekin and the Heekin Clinic. I'm Ann Maxwell, Channel 4, the local station.